President Trump insisting a trade deal with China is done, but as of now, there's no sign of a public sign-off by China's president. President Trump weighing in this morning on social media, posting that in his view, the deal would be a, quote, great win for both countries. Now, the possibility of easing trade tensions with China coming as a federal appeals court says Trump's global tariffs can remain in place while legal challenges continue from states and businesses. NewsNation's Joe Khalil's live for us on Capitol Hill. Joe, word of at least a framework deal comes after that second round of trade talks happening in London.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to trade, Nichole, I think it's fair to say that Trump 2.0, this administration, has dealt with some highs and some serious lows in the last couple of months. Today, you'd have to say is a high for them. On two different fronts, they got two wins. One is this reported breakthrough in the trade negotiations between China and the U.S. after two intense days where representatives from both sides were in London trying to hammer out trade negotiations. By the way, one of the U.S. representatives doing that, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, is in this room right next to us, still testifying, flew right back to the States and is now before a congressional committee. So what this purported deal looks like is a return to the tariffs that were negotiated last month between the two sides. So effectively, a 55% tariff now on Chinese goods coming into the U.S., a 10% tariff coming in from American goods going into China. And that 55% is actually, it's a 30% tariff with 25% levies. In addition to that, there is also student visa question. Chinese students trying to come back into the United States and study at American universities. Those restrictions the Trump administration was talking about, those are going to be pulled back a bit. And then you can also see the rare earth minerals that China has purportedly promised to export to the U.S. at a more steady rate. Those are going to come through as well. So we should caveat that none of this has been signed off on by the higher-ups, by President Trump, President Xi. This is a framework right now, but we heard Secretary Bessent inside that room characterize whether he trusts China to uphold its end of the bargain. His tone was pretty cautious. This is what he said.
But the country needs to be a reliable partner in trade negotiations. If China will course correct by upholding its end of the initial trade agreement we outlined in Geneva, and I believe after our talks in London they will, then the rebalancing of the world's two largest economies is possible.
So as you said, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in there right now in the committee hearing. He's taking questions not exactly about the China deal, but obviously it has come up, so he has had to address it. That committee hearing, by the way, as I'm talking to you now, they're in a 10-minute recess, so we're babysitting the room. Nichole, if you see me sprint off, it's because I've got eyes on the secretary.
But before you go, Joe, we mentioned it in the intro to you, the latest court ruling. How does that impact all of this? It's the ruling that allows the president's tariffs to remain in place.
Yeah, so we talked about how there was a win on two different fronts for the administration. The courts, that is the other front. Essentially, you had a federal appeals court today saying that temporarily the Trump tariffs can stay in place. Now, that's not a permanent win. What that means is that on July 31st, there is going to be this case that was brought forth, a challenge to Trump's tariffs. The challenge was on the grounds that the administration basically illegally imposed these tariffs because they declared an emergency, and there are some questioning whether there actually is an emergency or not. That allowed Trump to get around going through Congress to implement these tariffs. So it is being challenged, but between now and the actual court date, the tariffs can remain in place. So temporarily, a win for the administration.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.